Jim and Mike, you are out with a recent piece for Axios looking at the growing divide and how Americans consume their news. It's entitled Shards of Glass, Inside Media's 12 Splintering Realities, in which you label and explain the dozen different ecosystems that you say modern media consumers inhabit, starting with the Musketeers. Jim, take it from here.
Yeah, I think, listen, it goes back to the beginning of this conversation of, is there a big segment of the country that thinks it's okay to pardon the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th? The truth is there are, and a lot of that has to do with information. I think the most useful thing for your viewers is stop thinking about news and start thinking about information. That's how people's minds get molded. It's what are they consuming? A little bit of news, a little bit news adjacent, some of it just nonsense, but that is like the information bubble. And it used to be that all of us kind of looked through the same window. Go back 15, 20 years ago, a couple of newscasts, a couple of cable stations, newspapers, all the same standards. That's now been shattered. And so tell me how much you make or where you work or what you do, and I'll tell you where you get your information from. And that information bubble that you live in could be completely different from the person sitting next to you. And that's what's new, right? If you're a young guy who's interested in fitness and kind of vaguely interested in the news, you're getting your news from the Musketeers, right? A little bit on X, probably listen to Joe Rogan, might be listening to Huberman podcast on longevity in health. And what's really fascinating to me is the thought experiment I give people is you could be sitting at a table with people of different ages from different regions, and every person around that table might be getting their news on a platform you've never visited, from people that they trust that you've never heard of, and getting hopped up about a topic that's never come across your desk. That's new, and I think we have to reckon with a lot of our politics, a lot of our cultural issues, a lot of our conflict is all downstream from information. So if you're in business or you're just interested in what's happening in the country, you have to get your mind around this shattered glass phenomenon.
So, Mike Allen, let's get you to weigh in on a couple of these other bubbles. You pick in terms of ones you feel most important, although I'll note that of these, there's the Instagrammers, there's the right-wing grandpas still listen to Fox News, but the kids, TikTok, which is the very future of that platform now in doubt.
No, Jonathan, here's a fascinating fact about these fragmented realities, these shards of glass. Because there's very little overlap among them, right? If you tell me your ideology, your job, your income, your location, your age, like I can put you in one of these shards. But whereas we used to say, oh, like there isn't shared reality anymore, now there aren't even shared topics. Like those Instagrammers, the right-wing grandpas that you mentioned, they're talking about different things. Case in point, last week I was asked to go on TV and talk about the pardons. And they said, can you come on and talk about lawfare? Okay, that's probably not NBC or MSNBC, right? Like that is from the right. And so different topics. And here's a real wrinkle. Ben LeBold, the White House communications director, a senior advisor, told Jim and me for a column that we wrote on this shards of glass phenomenon that when they're looking at Americans, voters, consumers, ages 18 to 35, there could be something that's the lead of Morning Joe or Axios, and they're not even aware of it. Or it's an 8-second, 9-second clip with a totally different context. So a 90-minute debate becomes they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, a remix on Jonathan TikTok.
And of course,
so interesting.
The universe that Axios and Morning Joe fit neatly in, Jim, is what universe?
I think it's basically, if you think about elite, and I hate that term, but it's people who are looking to get informed about what's happening in the news on a day-to-day basis, largely to do their job or because they're deeply involved in government or in civic debates. And, you know, that's what, so you think about, like, you guys have a good day, you might have 2 million viewers, right? We have a good day, we might get 2 to 5 million people coming to the site. That's not 330 million people. It is a very valuable slice. I think it's where people who are running companies, running media, running government go to get informed. But like Mike said, there could be an entire population of people who are taking little pieces of that and running with it in ways that would be indistinguishable to how we even talk about it or how we write about it. And you could sit there and say, this sucks, man, I really want to go back. You can't go back in time. Like, we have no choice but to realize that the world is changing, and basically just have this collision of information consumption, politics, and business / technology all at once. Intellectually, I find it quite invigorating, quite interesting. I think all kinds of new ideas and new businesses will be born from it. And I think your job, our job, is to try to look at this stuff as clinically as possible, be curious, not condescending. And I think that's what we all do when we're doing our very best. When we don't do that, people dunk on us.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's what I loved reading. When I read the article, I had somebody show it to me, and I was just absolutely fascinated by it, because it really does show you the world that we're living in right now. And again, it's not something that I look at and I'm horrified by. It's like something I look at and go, oh, okay, yes, all right. So there are these 12 right now silos. And a lot of times they don't cross each other. And how do you get your silo and start moving out to some of the other areas and understand them a lot better?
I was at an appointment the other day, and a woman was talking about her parents. I think they're in right-wing grandpa category. I'm not sure. Yeah. And they are convinced, from what they had been reading, that hurricanes were brought here by our enemies, and convinced. Absolutely convinced. And there were a couple of other pieces of information that were information that were just, that is now part of their reality. So it's also that problem. You guys have just scratched the surface here. This piece is amazing, and we should talk about it more. Axios co-founders Jim Vandehei and Mike Allen, thank you both very much for this. And we'll see you soon. Up